I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world. And that's our job.
The working environment needs to be fun. Everything you're doing in life needs to be fun.
How do we support our own institutions? How do we support our own businesses?
We feel that with the black man spending $20 billion a year, not setting up any businesses, not creating any industry, not creating any job opportunities for his own town, he's not in a moral position to tell the white man that he's discriminating against him.
And instead of breaking somebody down, I look at what they do great and I go, wow, people that love and really want great for themselves go, what are they doing right?
What's good? Welcome to another episode of It's Black is Lit. I'm your host, Town, here at the Diamond Training Gym. And today I'm joined by the brilliantly black and talented Jamaican Olympian, Miss Dominique Blake.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hughes. Thank you. It's a pleasure to just have you in my presence.
And we're so excited to have you stop by the show today. And we're excited to tell everybody about all the awesome things you're doing here in Northwest Arkansas. But for starters, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us where you're from originally.
Okay, so a little bit about me. Well, first of all, welcome to the show, guys. If this is your first time here, welcome. I hope you visit again. Be sure to follow Dr. Hughes and myself on Instagram. Lots of magic. But, I was born in New York, raised in Kingston, Jamaica, moved back to New York for high school. Then I went to Penn State University. So I am by heart a Nittany Lion. I'm an adopted Razorback. And so went to Penn State University, graduated class of 2008. I've been running track and field my entire life, though. So as long as I've known myself, I've always been a runner. I graduated with a degree in communications, marketing, focusing on media. I've always known, in addition to sports and being an athlete, I just love people. I love talking to people. I love connecting with people. And I love to understand people, if that makes sense. I tell people all the time when they ask, Dom, what do you do for a living? I say I run it around in circles all around the world. and they pay me money. So, what brought me to Northwest Arkansas was sport. I went to the 2012 Olympics, had the opportunity to take a bronze medal there, and officially achieved my dreams of becoming an Olympian.
For sure. One of the things that we definitely want to talk to you about is this dual identity that you have as an athlete and an entrepreneur. And in a sense, it's a mingled identity. So can you tell us a little bit about where your passion for sport originated?
Honestly, growing up, even though I was born in New York, growing up in Kingston, Jamaica, it's just culture. Boys are either in cricket or soccer, or swimming. And girls, we have netball, which is something in all the Commonwealth countries. Are you familiar with netball? Okay, so netball was there, swimming was there, soccer was there, track and field is there, and that was the one that I really gravitated towards. So I was really lucky to find my passion really early and just kind of focus on it, so.
So what were some of the early steps that you took to take your passion for athletics and for running and turn it into a career?
Honestly, I'm going to say I have a lot of it to my parents. I have to give it to my parents. Honestly, it's definitely their discipline, watching them. For those of you out there that have kids or, it's on your list of things to do to have a child, understand that representation is everything. They're sponges, whether, you know it or not. Your kids are watching you. So, I just paid attention to what my parents did. I was blessed to have great parents, but it was really awesome for them to bring me to the office every day, watch them in their entrepreneurial mode every single day, and really watch them have fun at life. And they found things that they really liked, things that they were passionate at. And so it didn't feel like work. And I acknowledged that within them at a very, very young age. And I'm like, okay, work can be really fun, but if it's fun and it's my passion, it doesn't really have to be work. So that's how I looked at sport. That's how I looked at, being an entrepreneur. I just found things that I was doing anyway.
No, absolutely. And I think that's key for any young person, and I'll ask you about, advice that you would give for a young person in a moment, but for them to identify these things as early as possible.
Yeah.
For you, it's almost like you've always been an athlete and an entrepreneur because you've always been around entrepreneurship and you've always understood how to make value out of the things that you're passionate about.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to say this. Even though I was around the entrepreneurship as a kid growing up, until that adversity hit in 2012, when an organization or just anybody can say, you know what, I'm going to take this thing away from you. It really just kind of kicked the cool out of me, and it forced me to stop and say, okay. And I just made the decision within myself, with everything in my being, to say this will never happen to me ever again. I will never depend on one stream of income. I will never, ever allow somebody to be in the position, as long as I'm alive, to tell me what I can and cannot achieve or make. You know, if it's meant to be, it's going to be up to me. So I really just live with that. That gets me up out of bed every morning. In the beginning stages of being an entrepreneur, it's the thing that would allow me to wake up at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. and be just as excited as I would at 2 p.m. to meet with clients and, you know, go out and market and get new business and train people. I've gone through quite a bit, and I would say this, I've heard Will Smith say this thing where if you can, hurry up and fail, do it as soon as possible. So, we can definitely move forward with the understanding and the blessing of knowing what's on the other side.
Absolutely. You said a whole lot there, and I'm going to double back on a couple of things. But one of the things that it seems like the questions that I ask my guests is what challenges that you face in taking your journey along your career path. But you've explained the situation that happened in 2012. So would you count that as like a seminal moment for you in your entrepreneurial growth?
It is the moment.
Okay.
Oh man. So honestly, I would say, there are milestones. And so before I got to college, it was, getting into the high school of my choice. Before I, got to that point, gone through that, then it was about getting into college. And then after college, it was about becoming a professional athlete, and then when you're there and it's taken away from you, it's like, I'm always in the mode of what's next, right? And so I like to surround myself with people that are already and also in that mindset, because I don't have to slow down. For me, at a very early age, and everybody doesn't have the opportunity to realize and go through something like this, to teach them who their people are. Because imagine, people that have been successful for a very long time. People become famous at a very early age. It is extremely difficult to understand who's truly there for you. So I got to experience that at such an early age and on a global scale, because this is making news, headlines, all the newspapers, nighttime news. And I could make the decision to accept it or not, because somebody's opinion of you has no merit on who you actually are. So now, Dominique, what are you going to do with that? Now, every day I wake up, I have to keep in mind, I have to control the narrative. I have another opportunity to totally turn it around and make a new headline, make a new Google, link for somebody to click on. And really control how people view me and really what I want my legacy to be. And I haven't looked back since.
No, for sure. That's absolutely the way to approach it. Any adversity is to take control of it.
100%.
Take control of how you move forward.
I love talking about it. I love talking about anything anybody thinks that I would probably shy away from. I absolutely invite the conversation, because it's what makes us us.
Yeah, for sure. So let's pivot and talk about some of the early successes that you've experienced in your athletic and entrepreneurial career.
Athletically, I would say honestly, obviously becoming an Olympian, that we're the 1% of the 1% in the world. Everybody doesn't get to join that fraternity, and you have that for the rest of your life. No matter if people want me to be or if they don't want me to be, I will die an Olympian. That's it. That's it. There's nothing you can do about it. So I would say in athletically or in sports, that would be one of my biggest accomplishments. Second to that was just be going to my dream school. I had the opportunity to be recruited by every Division I school in the nation. But yeah, I would totally say becoming a record holder at Penn State University, All-American, going to Penn State and leaving history there, being able to go back there and be celebrated there, and then segueing into my pro years as being an Adidas athlete and an Olympian, an Olympic bronze medalist. So
awesome. Now you're definitely holding it down. So what advice would you give to a young person who's aspiring for a career in athletics and even in entrepreneurship?
So honestly, they're one and the same to me. Like, I come in here and it's just a different sport. Business is sport. Entrepreneurship is for gladiators, guys. So if you don't have the grit, if you don't have the audacity, if you don't have the power to be consistent and commit to excellence, it's going to eat you up and chew you and spit you out alive, because the same principles I use being on the track, going to practice every single day, whether I had a fever, whether I was tired, whether I was excited, whether it was snowing, raining, right? It's the same principles in business. So clients and the season of business, it's the same thing. Nobody cares. Work harder. Right? We have a standard to live up to, and Diamond Training has become NWA's #1 personal training company, and for those same reasons. So in here, whether the university sends athletes over to me for them to kind of shadow what I'm doing, because athletes have a shelf life. We all have a shelf life. So one day you can either segue into doing your own thing, or what's the alternative? Not doing anything at all, or working for somebody else.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's outstanding advice, and just keeping that long term in perspective, even as you're doing what you're doing in the moment. Duplication is key for me. I think about myself at 70 and I work backwards. No, for sure. For sure. No, this is outstanding information, outstanding jewels that you're sharing, and we're excited for all the things that you're accomplishing here in Northwest Arkansas. So tell us where we can find Diamond Training Gym and find out more about you and all of the information that you're sharing online.
Well, guess what? It's not very difficult to find Diamond Training at all, guys. When you go into Google, if you put in personal training, coaching, gym, we're the first company that pops up, thank God. That means that we're doing something right. People are leaving positive reviews, because you can't cheat that system. So if you're on Instagram, it is Diamond Training NWA. Our website is, everything's on there, but if you're wanting to just visit our website, it's DVB, D as in David, B as in Victor, B as in boy, diamondtraining.com. I'm on Instagram as your favorite social media influencer and Olympian, and you can find me at Dominique V. Blake. So everything's on there, and I thank you so much. It's been a pleasure and honor being on your platform. And so I want you to come back here. I want you guys to see more of what we're doing. We're constantly growing and evolving and creating wonderful partnerships, corporate, individually. And so again, it's just about building our nucleus and building people up and having fun while doing. We gotta have fun, guys.
Absolutely. We're definitely excited about all the things that you've accomplished, and we thank you for taking the time to stop by the show with us today. We're excited to see you be a visionary in the community that's creating change for people like you and me. So definitely keep doing what you're doing. Up next on this Black is Lit, we're gonna have another edition of Get Out Your Feelings, and we're gonna have our word of the day.
Ooh, I like that.
What's good? It's your boy Town the Hood Scholar. It's time to get out your feelings.
Got me in my feelings. Got me in my feelings. Gotta be real with it. Get up out your feelings for this chopper, make you dance like shit.
Today, we're gonna talk about diversifying your hustle. We always think about making it, but we never think about what comes next. True success is in longevity. Flip your success by diversifying wherever you expect to win. Grind and preparation are requirements, but add vision and foresight to see what comes after success. How you keep growing and how you give back. Dr. Dre, Oprah Winfrey, LeBron James, Nipsey Hussle, Young Dolph, and countless others establish outlets to share their success with their communities. Check this out to see what I mean.
What is money? You know, is it paper? You know, is it agreed value? What makes something currency? But just cryptocurrency is, I think it's like a form of karma. I think that the banks had such a crooked model that the engineers and software designers and programmers was like, we're not gonna fix this with a protest. We're not gonna fix this with a march on Wall Street. We're gonna fix this with technology. The cryptocurrency is balancing that out, or will in the long run. It's gonna take a while, but it's gonna create an option, and you're not gonna have to go operate in that system that led to like 2008. Somebody told me that it's like what the internet was in like the early 90s. And think about what that turned into and all the billion-dollar businesses that was built off of that. That's like what the cryptocurrency, blockchain opportunity is similar to. So it'll take a while before we see it mature and really turn into what it can potentially be.
Basically, what you gonna do when you make it? If you don't see what's coming next, then you're open for distraction, and lacking vision limits your opportunities.
Diasporic, adjective, of being or relating to any group that has been dispersed outside its traditional homeland, either involuntarily or by migration. Diasporic heritage is a hallmark of visionaries.